the invite seems to have the invite in the calendar that I've got here seems to have all of the old committee on it. So the new committee people have responded, but I think there's a few people missing from this one on my actual Google invite. So
Are you sure Wayne is coming?
well, he told me he's got a report he's going to give, and he said that he was, but he was on a big trip yesterday. I don't know if he's back yet. I did just I'll message him again.
He said to me he was going to be there.
Oh no, he says he's logging in, but his Mac is super slow logging in. He'll be here in a sec. Yep. So do we want to get started then? How far are we in? 5 minutes, yeah, let's get going. Share the screen. That's probably him. Is Alden joining? I'm not sure. Alden is not responded to the invite, so I don't know. He might be traveling actually, so you may have to hold over anything about the treasurer's report, and he can maybe give us something in writing.
Yeah, I think he's on vacation because he said to me about Brooks stuff. He would be off the grid these 2 weeks.
That's right. Yes. Okay. All right. So,
Wayne,
Hello.
ta-da.
There's something wrong with my desktop. It will not respond. So I'm on my iPad.
Morning, Wayne.
Good morning. How are you all?
Good. How's KL?
Fantastic.
So now I think you can see the agenda, but now I've lost you all. Just a second. Let me get you back. Okay, great. So welcome everyone. Thanks for making time in your weekend to join us here today. I think before we make a start, we might. The formal part is: has anyone had a chance to have a look at the minutes, which Alan has put out for us? We're all okay with the minutes? Yep. Approved? Okay. So I think the first out of order business is that unfortunately Alan is going to be resigning as Canadian rep and secretary. He's got to devote more time to his family at the moment. Yes, we really appreciate it. I know, Alan, you've been going through a bit of a hard time recently with that, with having to look after them. So yeah, it's difficult.
Yeah.
At this time of life, when you get a lot of people that need your care and attention after you've been giving it to them all this time. So family is always most important thing. So we appreciate your effort very much, Alan, over the last few years, looking after us with the meetings and the all the paraphernalia that go along with it.
Being technological problems.
Yeah. Oh, well, I'm sure it'll improve. Technology always gets better, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
But the good news is that Alan has found us a new Canadian rep from Ottawa as well. So as long as we're okay to vote him in this morning, he can keep going till the AGM. Or actually, I think that means that he would be the new rep for whatever the period is until that region has to change. So would you like
by
to?
the way, with the Canadian rep, shouldn't it be like say decided by the Canadian clubs? Like say, would you like say host like say a meeting between the Canadian clubs together and then see if they want to?
I think we just say yes, it's okay. You can contact them as the rep, and then they have to have a meeting and vote him in. Yeah, just like Alan did.
I was waiting to get the okay of the committee.
Yeah. Okay. So do you want to do an introduction, Alan, of your? Or does he want to do his own introduction?
I can't turn my computer, so we're at Friends. We have It's been the running Ottawa. It's been the, how do you call that? The run.
National Capital Race Weekend.
Okay, yeah, with 50,000 people running this weekend. So
Yeah.
and so now we're having the post barbecue. So we
Yeah.
ran away to a friend's condo to use his computer. So
Oh.
Vincent is with the Ottawa Front Runners for how many years now?
2811.
Okay, longer than me. Okay.
Yes.
Vincent just retired from the as a communication officer with an agent, a governmental agency here in Ottawa.
Mhm.
And so he has time on his hand.
Yes.
And so
And I ran the half marathon today, so we had a great weather. Yes.
so hopefully he won't fall asleep during the meeting.
Yeah, yes.
No, very entertaining. Let's just say that. Anyway, so do you want to say something?
Oh, no, just I just did. So yes, I run on a regular base, and I also for the Ottawa Front Runners, I also promote and do the hill runs in the spring, summer, and fall, and also across the river. It's called Gatineau, and we do Gatineau Run. It's
Different province.
Yeah, and it's along the riverbank. The Ottawa River bank. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful site.
Woody knows all about it.
Yes.
Yep.
I think we've met, like say when we did the national, like when I
Yes.
did the National Capital Pride Run. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Good to see you
You
again.
think there's not a run that Buddy hasn't done so far?
Well, I haven't been to South America. I haven't been to South America, so
There you go.
Yeah, I was gonna say the Paramaribo Marathon is waiting for you.
oh, thank you, thank you. Like, yeah, one day I'll travel there.
Okay. Anyway, c'est ça.
Okay, so if everyone's happy about that course of action, Vincent can have a meeting with all of the clubs and just get their assent and communicate that at the AGM, which is coming up. So welcome. You have told Vincent about all of the time commitment for being a regional rep, about having to have meetings, and well, I suppose actually it's quite a big time zone. There's a lot of time zones in America, not as many as there are for international, but they also have to attend the international steering committee meetings,
We have
which can be
time
at
zones,
this time.
so it's always a challenge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it'll work out. It's not that demanding actually, or
Showing up is always demanding. So all we ask is you show up to these meetings and do the necessary. So as long as you're aware that there can be sometimes in these terrible time zones, and are prepared to put the time in, that's fine. Okay, well, welcome Vincent, and thank you very much, Alain. And if you do need to go off because you need to go to sleep or something like that, that's fine.
No.
Okay, we'll be quick. So next item. Well, Alden's not here, so I guess, do we want to have a look at what clubs are outstanding, or will we just wait for him to give us a report when he comes back from holiday? Let's see if I can bring it up. I just got to remember my password again. So it looks like we have a lot in the European area and the Asian area that need chasing. So some of them are probably too small to need to pay fees. This is why. so then there's Albuquerque too small. Maybe Blackpool?
Yeah.
No, that's only 31. It's under 50. Oh, hang on. No, that's right. They'd be paying $25. So it looks like Blackpool. Maybe Cologne, but they're off. They're still got to re-register. Dallas, Texas, just barely. They're registering. Okay, so it looks like until we hear from Alden that it's who we've got to chase, that seem to have paid their fees for this year so far. Nairobi front runners. That's not one. Okay, so we'll put that away for a second. So next up is social media. Do you want to give us a little report, Martin, about how you're going with social media?
Perfect. Yes. So, in terms of the social media updates, so obviously same as before, we've been covering all the major LGBT related memorial sort of days, and we've been posting about that. We've been looking at ways to give a bit more have a bit more engagement within our actual Facebook page. So at the moment, it seems because we've had the Facebook group created long before the Facebook page, there's a lot less interaction within the actual Facebook page. So we're just looking to post as much as we can there as well, and just obviously remind people that we do have a Facebook page, and obviously all the important information is being posted there as well. In terms of other sort of wider communication updates, so obviously we've got the with the international IFR Day fast approaching, so we've launched that initiative where we've let all the clubs know that if they can submit a little video clip of what makes their club great. And what we're planning to do is, depending on, so we've given them, I think it's the 2nd of June is the deadline for submitting clips. So depending on how many we receive, we'll then either make one longer video or basically post several clips of the clubs across our social media, primarily Facebook, Instagram stories, because they seem to have by far the highest engagement. And in terms of other things that we have scheduled, so for the actual 15th, for the IFR Day, we are planning to have a virtual run event, so that anyone that will basically be hosted on Strava, on our Strava profile. So anyone from any club from around the world can join, whatever their time zone, whenever they please, and just complete a run, I think up to 10K of their choosing whenever they please, and then post their stats. And yeah, we're gonna try and promote that fairly shortly. And then once we, in terms of any other updates that I've got, it would just be obviously once we decide on the date for the AGM, then obviously we're gonna try and push that and get some advertisement going for that. But yeah, that's really all the updates.
Recording in progress.
What's that, sorry? Yeah, that would be all the updates from me just now.
By the way, can I also talk about, like, say, the newsletter? So
Yeah.
Yep, the newsletter last time we had the January edition, and I think the next one that is due should be July edition. I am planning to I'm thinking of calling for submissions for the entire of June, and then at the beginning of July we'll work on it and hopefully publish it before the AGM, and then we'll have what do you call it, stories about how the International Frontrunners Day went, and then also about the upcoming AGM in July. So hopefully, do you think we can call for submissions as soon as possible, so that
Yeah.
people clubs can submit it by the end of June?
That would be good.
And thank you so much for all the reps for following up with the clubs to follow. So basically, I'm going to ask them not to send to basically to send to the International Frontrunners Gmail account and CC your the regional reps email account as well, so that the regional reps will also know who has submitted and who has not yet submitted.
That's a good idea.
Thank you so much. So yeah, I'll send the email later on to the clubs later today. Chris, you're on mute. Are you talking?
I can see you, Chris.
Chris?
I am on mute. Sorry about that. Yeah, thanks very much, Martin, for doing all those days of significance and getting them out on the Instagram really quickly. That's been great. Ties in with a lot of marketing, local marketing. Whenever we do things over here, I know it must be the same over there. And we've got Pride coming up, of course, in the US and the Northern Hemisphere. So look forward to all that. So yeah, Buddy, if you can get the email out to the clubs to get submissions in for June. It's a very tight time frame, but at least it'll ensure that everything's a bit more timely when it goes out in July. If you I appreciate all the work you do with that too. That's that newsletter is a lot of work for you and Martin.
And I think for the non-regional reps, I would need your submissions as well. News president's welcome letter, and then there is secretary, reports, if you want to tell about the AGM, and also treasurer's report, gay games, update. So so yeah, hopefully we can get it in the next 1 month or next 1 month. Yeah.
Yep. Cool. Wayne, are you with us? Are you?
Yeah.
Oh, good. Okay. So just no camera. Okay. If that's everything for social media, I guess we've already done the regional rep appointment. So Wayne, do you want to go on with your report for the Gay Games?
Okay, Brad will be doing the Guadalajara part because he's going to Guadalajara. I'm going to Hong Kong. I'm focusing on Hong Kong stuff. They've both got extremely low numbers as compared to the last 10 games when we would have had thousands registered. By now they're extremely low. I know that Hong Kong have 400 registrations coming in very soon from corporate entries. So what's happening in the Hong Kong business area is that they're signing up and paying for their employees to go to the Gay Games. They don't have to be Hong Kong people. They could be from Asia. But there are 400 registrations coming in for that. Hong Kong has billions or millions and millions of dollars. The games look assured despite the very low numbers. And funnily enough, sports like tennis are booming, and our sport, which is usually the biggest, is dismal. For Hong Kong, trail running is becoming increasingly popular, and there are people going to do the trail running, and those sorts of things will happen. However, people in other sports are at risk. Some things might not happen, and that could be in either of the two cities. We as delegates are not we are not members of the board of the gay games, so we're not privy to what is exactly going on. And despite sending I've been sending emails to various people, I'm not hearing official stuff, but I'm hearing scuttlebutt. Anyway, we have posted the courses and the dates and everything for the marathons, the 5K, the 10K road races, and track and field, and anything that we might get about trail running. They've been going up on Facebook pages, and that's available to copy. You can send it on your own club stuff if you wish to, that's fine. I'm starting to get less inquiries, which is perhaps a bit sad. I do get questions from all around the world about what's happening. It appears this is the trend. Americans or North Americans are going to Guadalajara.
I can't hear anything.
The Asia Pacific and some Americans are going to Hong Kong. Europe doesn't appear, Europe's got unbelievably dismal numbers, and that's the story. That's the big geographic areas that's affected. Hong Kong is still dealing with their scholarship program. They've got a very generous scholarship program. Hopefully that will happen. And hopefully some people got the free Cathay Pacific flights, which is coming on in a few hours in Australia. They're releasing 6,000 flights here. So when I'm finished here, I'm going to be pressing buttons on my computer to try and get a free ticket. So Brad, do you want to talk about Guadalajara?
Sure. I just want to reiterate what Sean and Joni set out in a recent email that went out to everyone on the FGG email list, that they're both going to happen.
Yep.
Also having a side conversation with Sean, he did state that even the last games, there were a lot of people that registered at the end. So he has high hopes that numbers might, not look so great right now, but as it gets closer to event time, we'll start to see an increase. Okay. Yeah, and you mentioned for the Cathay Pacific, I tried that when it opened up for North America just to see what would happen. And I was in a waiting room for several hours, and then they said, oops, all those flights are gone. So good luck on that one.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that Guadalajara is going to happen. I know quite a few people. I'm working on renting a house myself, and I have some friends that will stay in the house with me because I want to rent a house right there in Centro. So I have my plane tickets and I'm registered, and so I'm set to go. And looking forward to it. So, and just letting other people know. But I think a lot of it is there's uncertainty on the economy right now. There's a lot of people a little bit nervous on different things. So that could be part of where people are holding back. And maybe they will later on, move forward, hoping, fingers crossed. But other than that, yeah, I think we're just kind of in a holding pattern right now. Just waiting to see for numbers increase.
I just wanted to add that the Mexican government is also reaching out actively to sports clubs, at least in South America. We received the email from the Mexican embassy to notify us about the gay games. So that was kind of cool.
Why are they offering any financial or scholarship assistance?
No, it's
just information.
Yes, yeah, but I mean, it's nice that at least the government is also trying to push.
Yeah. This is, so you all know, this is part of the problem. Hong Kong's loaded with money, but with no government support. It's the opposite in Guadalajara. They've got unbelievable government support. Everybody is helping them, but they're financially strapped. Now, as an aside, if you're talking to people about going to the games, please mention about altitude in Guadalajara. We don't want loads of runners getting sick or injured or in despair. It is at altitude. It's 1,800 meters.
Yes, well, I think by now we should encourage people to go.
Of course, but
I think we
have a
not.
duty of care. We have a huge duty.
Yes,
of
I
care.
know,
And if
I
they
know,
go
but
and they get sick and they come back and say, "Hey, why didn't you tell us this?" It's
I think it doesn't
crucial
just
that we
affect.
tell them.
It doesn't just affect runners either. So you
Of
know,
course, but yes,
anything
yep.
where you're going to be breathing heavily, weightlifting and things like that is also an issue. Even tennis. So you know,
Tennis will be, yep.
Anything performed at altitude is going to be difficult. But I do know that a lot of Australians are saying that they want to go to the Guadalajara games because they've got American friends that are going to Guadalajara, not to Hong Kong. So they are going where their friends are, not necessarily where it's cheaper or easier to get for us to get to. And with Cathay Pacific's issues with flights and things like that, there's no guarantee that that'll be easier to get to Hong Kong either. So yeah, there could be some disappointed people who booked on flights that get cancelled and things like that. We'll have to see. We'll have to see how they perform when they're ramping up at the moment and they've had a lot of issues.
The flights won't be an issue for Hong Kong. Has still got the Beijing factor.
Mm. And once you're there, it's fine. So
sadly, and Brad brought this to my attention that
Yes.
the US government has put a travel warning out.
Yes, the U.S. State Department basically has a travel warning out for the state of Jalisco, where Guadalajara and Puerto Vallarta are located, because of course there's going to be like an after games party in Puerto Vallarta, kind of the San Francisco of Mexico. So there are warnings out there, but you're going to be okay in big cities. Basically, like any major international city around the world, just, you know, kind of have eyes in the back of your head and be paying attention. That's going to be the biggest thing.
Yeah.
So
I think there's a Wayne Morgan travel
yes
thing about it too, isn't there? That you have to travel in groups and keep an eye on your iPad at all times and make sure you know where your passport is in case of
I didn't
muggers.
lose my passport.
Oh, okay. All right. So yes.
No.
But
Brad, won't that affect people's? If you travel, like as an Australian, if we travel and I go to a place that's got that category, my travel insurance doesn't work.
Oh, ours will, because I actually bought travel insurance. There was a hell of a deal from the airline when I bought it. So I have travel insurance, and those are just warnings. They basically have different levels. They say, you know, reconsider travel or just be advised. And I think this is like a yellow or orange alert for U.S. citizens, or just be aware, you know, of issues that can, you know, happen. And remember, we were just there in November and they had the warnings at that time as well. And it was okay. I really didn't see any issues. Just make sure that you take legitimate taxis or Uber Lyfts from the airport, and just, you know, rely on your gut instinct is what I like to say. You know, I've traveled the world extensively, as have most people. And so you just need to, you know, go with your basic gut instinct. If something smells or feels weird, don't do it.
I think so too. You know, we have, again, at this point, these cities need our utmost support to get as many participants as possible. So it won't help if we get out information that doesn't encourage people to go. So we have to be careful what we say. And of course, yes, it's all these big cities, you have to be careful. If you're in Rio de Janeiro or in Sao Paulo or wherever, in New York, you have to be careful. So just use your common sense.
yep. I'd say most people have chosen their city, and now it's just a matter of them making the arrangements. They're not going to change their minds at this point in time. Yeah, it's up to us to support them in that choice and just give them information that we think they might need.
So out of this particular group, who's going to where? And I would imagine most of you are not going to either.
I'm going
Sign
to
up for Hong Kong.
Guadalajara.
So Buddy's going to Hong Kong. Brad's going to Guadalajara. Anyone else
Guadalajara.
going?
I'm going to Guadalajara too.
All right.
And Wayne?
I'm going to Hong Kong.
Okay.
You're in Hong
2 for
Kong,
2.
Wayne?
Okay, well, if that's that, should we move on to?
We then have to sort of, it'll affect, I've been in contact with Hong Kong frontrunners to get a venue for some sort of social event. We don't have a frontrunners club in Guadalajara. So we're looking at doing a very small event. We don't think there'll be, huge numbers.
Oh, well.
So it won't be something in a telephone box, but it'll be, we're looking at a bar. They have a few gay bars and they're looking at having something there. We have to, I'm sorting that out with Hong Kong frontrunners directly.
Okay, is that everything about Gay Games then?
That's Gay Games. Now we've got International Rainbow Memorial Run. In the last report, San Francisco already kicked it off. Sydney's had theirs. We had 2 actually as part of World Pride. We had a small crowd of 400,000 at World Pride cheering us on, and we also had our own local event here in Centennial Park in Sydney. New York has confirmed their date of the 3rd of June. I've had contact with some people in Cleveland who are going to put some sort of event on. We are going to have trouble in Cologne. Looks like it. That's why we're not getting replies. So maybe Cologne Frontrunners Club has collapsed, which is it's a big shame. But both Guadalajara and Hong Kong are moving ahead with their plans for the Rainbow Memorial Run on day 1 of the opening ceremony. And you will need, as far as I'm aware, you will probably need to register your interest for that.
Cologne's one of Ari's clubs, is it? Western European?
It's Germany, yes.
Might be.
In my area.
Do you have any contacts up there, Ari? When's your wedding, by the way? Because that's when the AGM is.
I think it's Gali, not Ari. You're mistaking
sorry.
Gali and Ari.
Oh, sorry. Yes. Yes, Gali.
Yeah. My wedding is in the 9th of August, but yeah, 10 days after. Sorry, what was the question?
So I think Cologne is one of your clubs, and you might reach out to them and ask them about their membership. And are they going to be? What were you trying to arrange with them, Wayne?
I need up-to-date contacts if you can help me with that.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, we're not getting any. We've had no reply.
Okay.
Okay, apologies for getting those names mixed up. All right, anything else, Wayne?
That's the basics of what's going on, yes.
Okay. All right, so next thing is the AGM. So I thought we had a date, but obviously we don't. So should we pick one? So
is it going to coincide with the Eurogames Bern?
Yes.
It was supposed to, yes. But we won't be doing it at Eurogames now because nobody's going. Is anybody going? No, I think no one from this group is going to Eurogames.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Gali, were you saying you weren't going to go because it's too close to your wedding?
Yeah, maybe I will go, but I'm not sure. Part of my runners will be there, so maybe I will join them.
So it seems having an in-person event there would be, yeah. And also I think Martin was encountering resistance from them about getting runners there for under, what was the entry fee, like 150 euros or something like that?
Yeah, quite high,
Yeah.
quite steep.
So they were, it was not encouraging. Euro games.
Oh, so hang on, is it 150 euros to register?
Yep.
Yeah, 120, I think.
The Swiss are rich, so that's why.
Yeah.
For them, it's probably nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's actually the last week of July that it's on.
Yes, that's right. I'm looking through my notes. I thought we picked the date, but anyway.
I thought we had to, so let's formalize it. Where's my calendar?
No, we hadn't picked the date. I listened to the 3 times to the minute. We had changed our minds because nobody could be at the Bern game, and Chris was supposed to look into it and come to us with a plan.
So in that case, if nobody's going to be at the Bern games, should we say the 29th is the end of it, and the 23rd, the Saturday or Sunday, should we say the 23rd of July, or do you want to make it the 30th of July?
What day of the week is that?
That's Sunday. I presume we just do it like we normally do.
So that will be Saturday in Europe?
Well, I was going to say it could be a Sunday in Europe and a Monday for us. But it'll usually be like an 11 o'clock meeting for us, or it might not be quite past midnight at that point in time.
You can do the same timing you're doing now, because you won't be tied to the timings of Europe, like we were in.
Like we were in Copenhagen, yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So we would do this timing on, so it'd be the Sunday for everyone else and the Monday morning for Asia Pac. Does that work for everybody?
Yeah.
And so of
Yeah.
course we'll have like 95 people on the call for that one. So yeah, they can join if they want to. If they want to get up extra early, like 4 o'clock for the New Zealanders or whatever, and the Hong Kongers, then they can. So should we make
30th or the 23rd?
Should we make it the 30th then? The last week? And then that's so we'll lock it in for the 30th at the time of this meeting, which is for us 7 a.m. Sydney time.
Are we going
The
to try
30th
to like say, are we going to try to have like a meeting room in Bern Eurogame so that people who are in Eurogames Bern could like say live stream or like say participate?
No, because the only person who would be joining officially would be the regional rep for Bern, like the regional rep for Germany, for Switzerland. So which is actually in Geneva, I think, or Zurich. So that person would be on the call, but generally, you know, there would be no. It was only because they did the run in Copenhagen last time, and there were a few of the committee there, that it was worth doing a physical one. So with this one, we might just do it. We're doing it virtually because nobody's going, and so we just have the Zurich rep from the local clubs online.
Will be over by then anyway, by the 30th.
What's that? Sorry, Ellen.
I'm sorry, the games will be over by the 30th anyway.
Yes, I thought they finished the 28th. Is that right, Elaine?
The 29th, it says.
29th, sorry.
29th, yeah.
But Chris, oh, okay.
Yeah, so the idea beforehand was to have it during the games. And it's always that we like to have it during a big event.
Yeah.
But it doesn't lend itself to this one this time because we just don't have many of the committee going there to facilitate it anyway. And it's very expensive to go there, as Martin's found out. So just deploying him into Bern would be a frightfully expensive operation. So probably not necessary. Whereas the Zoom room is free. So
yeah, true.
Yeah. And endless. We don't need to worry about capacity with it. So that's part of the joys of pandemic meetings now.
Totally on Zoom.
So totally on Zoom, yeah. You can have a physical party if you want to. Everyone can do that. But yes, we're not going to have part of the event being
Okay.
So it's quite
rip.
late in Europe, isn't it? Sunday, it's about midnight.
Yeah, in Europe it would be 11. For
Yeah.
us in UK, that would be 10 at night. So
Yes.
If that's the case, why don't we hold it on Saturday close to their midnight to Sunday, and then we can have it like Australian ones can have it on Sunday morning. That way people aren't just like say worried about like say being able to get to work.
You want to do it on Saturday for Europe, so the last day of the games, or do you want to do it on the 22nd before the games even starts? So people will kind of be in position in their home location.
I think
There
like, you
might
know,
be people traveling for it. It's true.
they could also log in from their hotel room, you know.
that's true.
Well, and then doing it afterwards, you can get feedback on what occurred.
So you want to make it the 29th?
Yeah, 29 sounds good.
29th, 30th. Yep, 29th. Yeah.
And did you want to change the time?
I think the time's crucial.
So leave the time.
Well, no, I think it's a shit time. If I was in Europe, I don't want to be having a meeting after the end of the games, and there's going to be parties on, and you've got to take yourself out of a party to go to a boring IFR AGM at 11 o'clock at night.
Well, so I think in that case, why don't we leave it to Sunday? Like Buddy, good suggestion, but let's take it to Sunday the 30th and leave it at this time. I think for us, it's a problem for getting to work, but we'll be quick.
Same
Okay.
with like say people in Europe, if they do it like on Sunday evening for them, like they
And
might.
if we are happy to push the time back by an hour to make it 6 o'clock our time to start the meeting, then that would mean that it would be like 10 o'clock and 11 o'clock over in Europe rather than midnight. Yeah. Would that be okay if we make it start at 6 a.m. in Australia, Asia Pac? I struggle with 5, but I could do 5. So what do you think? Just 1 hour, move it back 1 hour on the 30th?
Chris, I don't think the problem's with us. I think the problem's with Europe. We should
So
be.
it's 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock for Martin to start this meeting today, was it?
Yeah, 10 o'clock. So that would be Europe's 10 hour difference, so 11. Yeah. So if it lasts an hour, then they would finish at midnight.
So if you started at 9, then for Martin, then it would be 10 for Europe, and they'd finish at 11, which is late, but not.
Yeah, that seems reasonable.
How do you think about that, Carly?
We are talking on the 29th?
No, now 30th. We're back to the 30th because Wayne's saying people will be finishing the games and they'll be in a party and they won't want to go to a meeting. So this way they can still attend the meeting the next day. So Sunday the 30th.
Sounds good to me, but I'm not sure. I'm not going to be there, so I don't know if people will take a flight or something like that in this day. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's their travel day. Yeah.
All right, we'll push it back. So it's July the 30th, 6 a.m. Sydney time, and I'll recalculate that for an appointment.
Hang on. Sunday the 30th of July.
Yep.
Where?
Virtually on Zoom.
I understand that, but is it going to be Monday for Australia Pacific?
It'll be Monday. It'll be this time. This time, instead of starting at 7, it'll be 6.
6 for us.
In Europe, it'll still be Sunday.
Yeah, because I have to advertise this on the Facebook page, and I don't want to write. Yes, I want to write.
Well, we also need to put it up on the IFR website too. So yep. So I'll do the Zoom. I'll do an invite for you, and you can all see in your local time zone what it's going to be. So I'll send out the invite now. I'll get the Zoom ready, but it won't work until it's time.
Yeah,
just like last time.
I'll put UTC. It'll be 9 p.m.
If you say so.
Yeah, they're 9.
Yeah, that's correct. Yep, it'll be 9 in England, so that's perfect. Yep, 9 England, 10 Central Europe, 6 a.m. Australia, and it'll be 4 p.m. Eastern time in the United States.
Yeah, it's 6 a.m. in the East Coast. It's 4
Yep.
a.m. for Perth
In
front
Perth.
runners.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And Hong
Hong
Kong,
Kong, Bengaluru is like midnight as well.
It's 4 a.m.
Thailand is like midnight. It's sleeping time for them.
We're going to face this trouble. The bigger we grow, the more this problem is going to exist.
That's why, like, you know, it's best to be between like Saturday and Sunday, because like both, like, you know, both the, like, say, the eastern half of the world will still be on a weekend. The western side of the world will still on both on weekends.
Unless they work Saturday, which some people do.
Well, yeah, I
People
could
run on Saturdays and Sunday.
Yeah,
that's true. Yeah, yeah, we
It's
have had
just
that where
harder.
people have got to jump out so they can finish their get to their marathon or whatever.
it's just harder for my part of the world. Like, say, wake up at 4 a.m. and then like on Monday, like Sunday, they could recover next day but then it's harder. And so I was just trying to advocate my region.
Yeah, the problem is that most of our participants will be coming from the North American region, and so they won't turn up if it's a midnight meeting for them.
We could be for, like, say, Saturday instead of Sunday.
So is everyone happy with Sunday, or do they want to change it to Saturday? Aside from Buddy.
I agree with Wayne that Sunday is going to be better because, like he said, all those people are going to be, you know, wanting to be at parties and everything. They're not going to want to take a call that time of night.
We only need one person from each club to, like, stay back, like to join the call, not the entire crew, right? Just the voting members. And then if there's not many people who are going to burn anyway, I think they would be okay.
I believe that's true. I believe the numbers.
No, it's
just like the one who's attending the AGM who's from Bern.
It's the European people, and it's from that time zone that would be the ones that were affected by it being late. And you're saying it's be affected by being early for Asia Pac, 4 a.m., which is true.
Mm-hmm. But then it's better to have like that early meeting on Sunday rather than on Monday, like 4 a.m. Monday or 3 a.m. Monday. Like, yeah, it's just like a big ask.
So, okay, I think so I can ask for a vote for it because I think that most people want Sunday. So who wants Saturday? Hands up.
Vote with your conscience.
So that's Buddy and Sunday.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's Sunday, unfortunately, Buddy. I appreciate that people have to get up early for these meetings sometimes, but that is, as I said to Vincent, that is the problem with being a regional rep, is that sometimes you have to go to these ridiculous meetings. And Wayne would know about those with gay games as well. It's just the problem with having stupid time zones and a global operation that sometimes these things happen.
It's not just for me, it's also from people from Perth, Bengaluru, Hong Kong, Singapore.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it's 4 a.m. Monday for them. Like, they have to work on Monday. Like, they can't give up their sleep on Monday. Like, whereas like they might be able to like wake up on Sunday, like in morning. So yeah, like, you know, I urge you to vote with your conscience and inclusion.
Alan wants to say something.
I'm just saying that you're right, Chris. We will not please everyone.
Yeah.
So either it's going to be Asia that's going to be at 4 a.m. or it's going to be North America or Europe at 1 or Australia. So
I get that, but between 4 a.m. and 3 a.m. Monday morning and Sunday morning, that's a big difference. On Sunday, people can recover, but then on Monday, they gotta go to work. So if they have to wake up on Monday 3 a.m., they'll miss it. So if you keep on doing this like every time, like, you know, you're basically just ignoring like my region.
All right. Well, we can
think
have
about
a look
it.
at it.
Think about inclusion.
But why do we that? Why can't we do it maybe then the weekend after? I mean, do we
I think
need
it's got to be done in. I think it's got to be done in July for our financial year or something like that.
It's just the choice between Sunday or Saturday, right? Like, say, it's just that's it. Like, you know, if you push it to Sunday, there'll be Monday for us. That's really difficult
no,
for
I get it. But the thing is, if maybe if we do it like the weekend before, we could do it on the Saturday, Sunday.
So you could do it on the
because
Saturday
now
on the 22nd and it wouldn't impact the
exactly
gay games.
yes,
Sorry, the Euro games.
the Euro
Have
games.
less,
Yeah,
it has much less impact. Yeah.
So you want to go with Saturday the 22nd at this 1 hour pushback?
I'm fine with that.
Buddy?
I'm okay.
Because that still does not suit you.
Yeah, like I prefer Saturday, like Europe time, and Sunday, this side of the world.
Okay.
So Nick, people in America, don't you, and Canada, don't you run on Saturday?
I run,
We have runs
well,
on Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah.
And at
I
this
run
time,
super early, but I know, for instance, Front Runners New York has their fun run at 10 a.m.
at this time.
No, at 10 a.m. and no, at this time, no one should be running.
So
They're
see,
probably
if
all
it's,
off to happy hour.
so this
Right.
time on the Saturday would be okay.
Yeah, even here too, because we only do our runs in the mornings anyway. Both Saturday and Sunday are morning runs.
Okay.
Only weekdays are after work, so like 6 in the evening.
Okay. All right, let's rule a line under it. It's going to be Saturday, July 23 at 6 a.m. Sydney time, which will be 9 a.m. UK time. And the rest will fall out. We'll figure it out. Fair enough? Okay,
That works better for me.
thanks for that.
So hang on, Saturday the 22nd?
22nd, yes.
Yes.
At 9 p.m. UTC.
Yes.
Yes.
That's Sunday in APAC's at Sunday.
Yes. 6 a.m.
6 a.m. Yeah.
No, that'll be nice because a lot of the California clubs, it'll be 1 o'clock in the afternoon. It'll be nice for them to join.
Oh, they'll be just waking up.
They'll be
Yeah.
having their breakfast martinis.
Yes, at 1 in the afternoon. Yes, okay. Mhm.
Okay.
Nice.
Well, phew. All right. That's that. And it won't please everybody. But anyway, this is the best of a bad pick. Thank you for that. Brooks Grant. Ari now.
Sure. Don't have a whole lot to add, and hopefully you all saw my email recently. Brooks is definitely trying to streamline and simplify things on their end. So last year, there were a lot of initiatives that we all enjoyed, and that was part of a campaign, a one-year campaign they were in called Parade Around the World, and that campaign is now over. So basically, Brooks, the extent of their support of us will be their annual grant program, which it sounds like they want to continue. Alden just received, it took us a while, but just received the grant check in the mail about 2 days ago. And as soon as he returns from vacation, we will work on dispersing the grants to the 16 clubs that we selected to receive them. And that is the extent of it. The one thing I want to try to do, so I asked if they would be open to, if clubs, for example, wanted to order bulk t-shirts or bulk swag or whatever it might be, would they ever work on giving us bulk discounts? They were less excited about that, but more encouraging of that people should use the, if they registered, the 25% online discount program. And I realized that not everyone had a chance to register for that. So what I want to try to do is, in the meantime, I've told a few clubs if there's something that they would like to purchase that they're seeing online to let me know, and I can work with them on using my account to both purchase it and get it shipped to them. Longer term, what I would like to try and do is maybe try to get 2 or 3 accounts that could be operated by IFR that just gets passed from me, for however long I'm in this role, to other people, and then maybe 1 or 2 other steering committee members could also have access to. So when clubs want to purchase stuff in bulk, they at least can do that online with a 25% discount. So I'm going to work on that.
Ari,
And
this
that's
is only for USA or all of North America or global?
Well, right now, I think it's, well, it's a good question, Wayne. So a year ago, I think when clubs registered, only US clubs could register.
Yeah.
I'm hoping, and I'm a little unclear because I haven't had it yet. I'm hopeful that if an international club or a club that's not in the US, I should say, is interested in ordering stuff, that if they go through me, that hopefully I could purchase it and then get it shipped to them. But I don't know about that yet. So that's a good question.
I think it's probably easiest to think of Brooks as not a single global entity, but really they're a collection of operating companies.
Yeah.
And so the discounts they're talking about in the US are probably not available worldwide.
Right.
So yeah, but it is important there's a lot of clubs in the US that could get that discount. So it's important to remember that they can get that if they've applied for it. And yeah,
So,
thanks for.
but Ari, what about Canada and Mexico?
It'd be a
Don't
different
know.
company.
I
I'm guessing
wouldn't
it's a different
find out.
company.
Okay.
I mean, again, the piece that I could always do, but in the end, the question is it financially worth it? Certainly for a club outside, I'll find out about Canada and Mexico, but certainly for a club outside the States, I can always have stuff ordered and I can purchase it and have it ordered and shipped to me,
Right.
and then reshipped to whoever it needs to be. But the question will just be in the end, does that just, with all the shipping, does that end up negating the 25% discount? But we could
Of
always
course.
explore
Yes.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ari, I got a question. So like most of my clubs, like a lot of clubs that I contacted, they have been unsuccessful in the grants application. And I would like to know, like, say, if we can have, like, say, transparency, but like, say, who, like these 16 clubs, like, is there any reason, like, the clubs from my region were like not successful in the grant? Yeah, because like, say, yeah, I want to know.
I think
And then some of them.
a lot of clubs in Asia Pac did get grants though. So out of 16, I think Perth, Adelaide, who else got grants? So yeah, it's not fair to say that nobody got grants out of Asia
No, I
Pac.
didn't say nobody, but then like some of them didn't. And then like say, we'd like to know, like, for the ones that didn't get or weren't successful, like Chiang Mai were not successful. And then yeah, like I want to know, like, because there might be like some.
That's a good question, but and I think next year we want to work those of us on the committee having that much clearer guidelines on what exactly we're looking for, because they were pretty vague this year. I would say this year, and this wasn't articulated very clearly as we were looking in the initial grant application, as we were looking through applications. What sort of really resonated and what those of us on the committee ended up going with were clubs that had a very specific initiative in mind and that they had already done the research to look at costs. So they had a pretty, they were like, we want to do X, Y, and Z. This is how this furthers the goals of the club or the goals set forth for the grant proposal. This is what the cost would be. We've done the research. There were a number, and I don't know, there were 36 applications, and I think we gave 16 or 17 grants. There were a number of clubs which basically, I'm not saying the ones in your region, Booty, but there were quite a number of clubs where I would say basically they were asking us for a grant that they would just put into their routine operating budget. And that seemed a little odd. So to your point, I definitely think, and I've heard this from a few clubs were unclear about the selection criteria. And if I were in their shoes, I would be unclear too. And so I definitely think next year we will have much clearer guidelines.
Thank you.
And it's almost certainly going to be a question that comes up at the AGM. So Ari, maybe if you can develop a well thought out response to that, but I don't want a half an hour discussion about the metrics used to select and also some sort of witch hunt down the why didn't my club get something or other, which happened at last AGM. So we don't want that to happen again. Okay. So if you've just got.
Oh, go ahead. I just want to pipe in before you end up on that one. I do have a suggestion for Ari, though, with Brooks, because Brooks is a Berkshire Hathaway company. And anyone that's a shareholder is welcome to go to Woodstock for Capitalists, which they just had a couple of weeks ago in Omaha. And when you're there, it's really spelled out. It's all the Berkshire companies. Brooks is there with a big display, and you can make or meet, hands-on with representatives and get some things going, a nice face-to-face meeting. And as a shareholder, I'm allowed to bring a guest too. So I'm willing, if you want, to meet in Omaha next year at that. And remember, it's broadcast live on CNBC for 8 hours as well, because it's that big of a to-do. But, you know, you could just reach out to me, let me know, and we could do something like that if you wanted to make a face-to-face meeting with somebody from the Brook side.
Yeah, thank you.
So just a suggestion.
Sounds like a good one. Can't hurt.
That's what I was thinking.
Okay, take that as a note. Anything else from Brooks? No? Okay, so the checks will flow once the check cashes when Alden gets back.
Yep.
Okay, we'll keep you up to date. Anything else people want to bring up? So do you think we need to have, so for the AGM agenda, getting that together, would normally just ask for agenda items. Does anybody, so that'll be a form, it'll be a, you know, a set meeting to keep it short. But do we need to have a pre-meeting for that, or is it okay to just go ahead with the AGM on the 22nd? Everyone okay with?
Well, the paperwork has to start rolling, that's all.
That's right. So we just have to get all the paperwork done for that. But other than that, is there any need to have another meeting, or will we just see you all again on the 22nd?
Chris, can you just remind me one more time and I'll calculate it from here. It's what time UK time, and I'll figure out what time that means for the Western Club.
9 p.m. 9 p.m. UK.
9 p.m. Perfect.
9 p.m. UK.
That
2100.
means 0 o'clock.
No,
Oh,
don't
no,
say
well,
that.
So it doesn't. It means 9 p.m. Yeah. 9
yes.
p.m. UTC. Sorry. Yep.
So
You need to work your time zones from there.
well, I think Alan put out a handy dandy converter chart for everybody, so we might do the same thing for this meeting. I'll just put something together from time and date and send that out as well, so that everyone knows what it is. But also, Wayne, you'll put it up on the Facebook, and Martin can put it on Instagram, and I'll get Brad to put it onto the website, and yeah, we can get going. And as soon as we've got the newsletter, everybody can. When do you think you can get the newsletter ready before the meeting?
Before,
Woody? Yeah.
Before which meeting?
Before
AGM?
July 20. Yeah.
Oh yeah, like, you know, that's what I'm hoping, like, you know, like maybe it will take, like, say 1 week, like, you know, to like collate everything in the beginning of July, or a bit, and then, like, say, and then I think we should definitely start advertising for AGM earlier, even now, like, you know, or like as soon as possible. But then, like, say in the newsletter, it will be re-mentioned, like, you know,
Yeah.
it will be included
Facebook
again.
page will be done today. It's Monday.
Yep. And I'll ask Brad to put that date up now. So I think if we get that up before the meeting and put it into the site, the website, as well as mention it in the Facebook page and Insta and everything else, people can read the newsletter so that they've got an idea before they get to the meeting. Because these meetings used to be, as Wayne would, some of the old timers will attest, a couple of days of event where people would personally deliver their reports, and so it took quite a while. So this is the way that we shorten it, but it does come at a cost. So yeah, okay. So if you're happy with that, Woody, to collate the newsletter a little ahead of the 22nd, we'll meet you all again on the 22nd with about 90 other people, hopefully. Okay, thanks everybody.
Thank you.
Okay.
Have a great rest of your day.
Thank
See
you.
you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, folks.